Oh,
All right.
my bad.
All right. All love.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Love Your Body Podcast. What's up, Blake?
What's up? I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
Y'all miss me?
I'm sure they did. I'm really sure they did.
She didn't.
Gotta give the people what they want.
Someone somewhere missed me. Happy to be back. Love your body.
Oh my goodness. All right. Started the new year.
Yeah. First time in
2022.
this spread the positive
Yep.
studio.
It's a great.
Wow.
There's a crowd in here.
Yeah, it's
Producer
it's,
Mike too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got
Snap.
all the things in here. No, I
Upgrade.
really do love it. Yeah, it's a great studio. Trent's done a great job with it. So with 2022, okay,
Yep.
we started off with a bang. I would say we got Move Fit this Saturday. We
Yep.
got the Get Your Moving In challenge, which
Kicking it off with a Move Fit.
Yep, exactly. So that we're literally starting a challenge, starting the year off with body positive fitness. So again, trying to reiterate the whole idea behind Dani Fitness, which is loving your body, getting your movement in, fighting for what you want, right?
Correct.
So I think that something that we should clear up and we should go through is a little bit about the, Get Your Movement In challenge. And
Let's do it.
so for me, like, I know that the reason I wanted to do it, because I have my own goals for 2022, is everybody does, of course, but like for me specifically, I am really trying to like get rid of a lot of I guess resentment and like just like things that happen at the new year that always kind of bother me, and that I kind of get down on myself. That like, oh man, I wish I would have done more. I wish I would have done this, and kind of being appreciative of more like what I accomplished in 2021 and being focused on that and looking at like, okay, well, I know society is saying everybody needs to have like a new year, new me. But like for me, I just got back up and kept on with my regimen and rolled out of bed, and it was the same. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's just the calendar changed.
I hate the phrase new year, new me.
Yeah.
Like I personally don't like it. I don't like correct people when they say it. Like I'm not like overly aggressive about it.
Yeah.
Because someone might need a new them. For them personally, that might be necessary with what they went through, whether it be for a long period of time or something they went through the previous year or whatever. But if you're on a steady path of evolving and growing, and you can't really change what is thrown at you. You can only change how you respond to it. So if you're on a path of just like continuing that path of improvement and stuff like that, I would just want to continue to do that and not slow down.
For sure. Real quick, you gonna make us up some fight?
Yeah, I'd love to. I was waiting on you.
For those of you that don't know, we now have Fight in stores, so I'm super pumped up about that. Fight is our energy booster, and basically with that, 120 milligrams caffeine. We got all the vitamins that you can need in a daily dose. I'm super. You're like showing that
Vanna White with a beard.
Yes,
Perfectly.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
awesome.
But yeah, mix it up with some water, shake it up real quick for us.
Delicious.
Keep us going. Yes, it is. It tastes.
It is.
I always tell people
really
like blue Kool-Aid,
yeah.
but it is, that like
Not
mood
jittery,
booster too.
yeah.
So if you're trying to, focus on like, being in a better mood, like in 2022 as well, and treating people with more kindness and all that stuff, that's kind of what I've set my intention within the years. And no matter how hectic things get and busy, like really just focusing on, basically, right here is it. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. But focusing on being, my best self mentally and physically. And that has been a goal for me for a while. Yeah, pour me up some, bartender. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I like it. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Okay. Cheers to a great year.
Oh yeah. For sure.
But yeah, so with that being said, so, when we're talking about the new year and with this Get Your Movement Challenge, the whole idea behind it for me was like, I wanted something, and we talked about trying to decide like how to approach it and whatever, where people didn't feel like, oh man, it's, I have to have this new me complex and this whole, I got to go hard and I'm doing like, every day working out and I'm, barely eating, or I'm doing this intensive detox or whatever. So how can you explain to everyone how we kind of approached it?
So if I'm giving credit where credit's due, I've been a part of other challenges similar to this, where it's not just your cliche weight loss challenge or anything like that, where it is actually looking at transforming your body. And the biggest thing I saw from the experiences of doing that from years before, is what people learn and take away from them after the challenge is over. We're doing a 10-week challenge.
Yes.
My intention and hope for every single participant in this challenge is, yes, they do the best that they can do for this 10 weeks, but that they actually learn what is realistic of what is realistic for their incapable of to achieve within their body, to take that with them for the rest of their lives, of more data, more information. And because
so many real healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. It would be like me trying to set goals for myself in what's something I just don't know anything about whatsoever. Like,
I don't know, you know so much. So.
Yeah. It's hard to even think about what I don't even know about. Like, but
I don't know, dance.
Yeah. Like dance goals. Like, I want to be able to do this move and this jump and stuff like that. Like, I have no idea what it takes to do that. So who am I to set those kind of goals? And there's a lot of people that are not educated on what the human body goes through and what it takes to get their goals. So I'm not trying to sound rude, but who are you to set those goals and set those expectations and set that bar so high for yourself that you set something so unachievable because you don't know. And so my whole thing with this is trying to teach people and have an approachable
realistic goals.
And have an approachable introduction to real numbers. Some people are afraid of stepping on the scale. Well,
100%.
this is looking at not only your body weight, but looking at muscle, looking at body fat, looking at water weight, looking at skeletal weight, and taking all those things into consideration. And it can be a lot, but the sitting down with people and explaining it to them, the people that get something from that, it doesn't go anywhere. It stays with them on what that can do for them.
And I think that was great how you put it. And I think that if some people were reading this and like, oh, it's a new challenge in the new year, like how typical or whatever, it's one of those things where it's like, at the end of the day, we did not say, hey, you have to lose 20 pounds to win $500 cash prize. We weren't like, hey, you have to, because again, that's unrealistic, non-obtainable goals. And I never want to put a pressure on someone where they feel like that, they have to do this certain amount or they have to do this in a time. Because I was even telling a client, she asked me, she said, Dani, like, do you have goals? Like, how do you structure your kind of like at the new year? And I said, honestly, it's not actually like really like, I don't have, like time goals, because I've always put out goals. And like, if I get them done within the year or within a month or within whatever, like that's awesome. But my goals that I've set for myself are so that way I have this mental, like this idea that like, I don't have unrealistic expectations. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't have unrealistic timelines. So for me, it's like, okay, as long as I am working towards those goals, then I'll eventually probably obtain all those goals. But if I set a pressure on the timing, then I'm going to probably sabotage myself. And I know that some people have talked about like triggers and things like that too. And I totally get it. I mean, from going from, being told that I need to eat barely anything a day just to be able to lose, weight, because my body is so different and whatever, to losing a bunch of muscle along with that. And like going through all these different diet plans since I was young, and growing up, I get it. I get when it comes to like body dysmorphia, I get all these things and all these different things that you can maybe be triggered by when it comes to a challenge. Just the word challenge, right?
It's challenging.
Yeah, exactly. and people who've never dealt with that don't understand it, but it really can be challenging. And so, I guess with my whole like idea behind this is that it will help start people to stay focused on their already goals that they probably had in place, they've always had.
Who doesn't have look better naked kind of goals?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, gaining muscle, losing fat is the scientific way of saying I want to look better naked.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and then too, it is one of those of like, well, at the end of the day, like my biggest thing is like, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, I think that I know everybody wants to genuinely like look better. That is something.
Correct.
But for me, what I've always looked at is, okay, but how about my strength goals? Like, how am I like in terms of like being strong and stuff like that? Like, have I excelled? in terms of how I treat myself and how I talk to myself when no one's around, have I excelled? Do I talk to people and treat them with the same respect that I want back? Right. So like working on that, just different, like those different things. So it doesn't have to just be about the looking better. Again,
there's so much to take away from this challenge of like what you just hit on of even if it's not in the future, even if it's not fitness related goals, when someone takes the time to understand the information and the new kind of information and science that they're learning to help them set a realistic goal, hopefully that changes how they set other goals and doing your research, actually studying what we're doing so you can be educated on that to set a realistic goal.
Yeah.
The other part of that is, like you said, how you treat people. There's a lot of people that look at how strong someone is or someone's body fat composition, like with that whole, like, must be nice mentality.
Yeah.
And once you actually study what it takes to actually get that level of strength or that level of body composition or whatever, then you can have a little bit more respect and get away from that must be nice mentality. Like, wow, they worked hard.
Well, and going from there too, when we talk about Move Fit, right? So for those that don't know, that's a strong, sexy, athletic dance format that I created, all these years ago. And, for me, it was, the reason I created that was to have an, escape, essentially, and, to feel like my best self and be able to do movement that I enjoyed. And then other people join along with that. And, with Move Fit, some people will watch it and they're like, oh, that's not hard. And it's like, okay, well, that's cool. Like, maybe try it and then tell me how you feel about it. Because it surprises people and it surprises them what they learn in a Move Fit class, like in a Move Fit event, about themselves, about the movement, about everything. They may think, McMahon, like
I'm number one on that list of like, oh, I've done Zumba. I go to the club.
Yeah. I can do this.
3 songs in, my ass was kicked.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. And that's the
Danny,
thing.
how many songs left?
Right. Yeah. You were asking me and I'm like, bro, we got like 8 songs left. So I buckle in or like take a breather, take a break or whatever. And again, that's not to say that it's super challenging or really difficult, but
it's also fun.
It's fun and you can modify it. So it could literally be that you're like upright the whole time. You're like, hey, I'm just dancing, I'm having fun. Or you're touching the ground and jumping up and then doing this. Like you can advance it how you want. And so that is like right there, quintessentially like Dani D fitness. It is how you end fight. It is how like flavor your way, kind of is how I talk about fight, right? Because if you have a smaller, amount of water with it, it's a little bit more richer, sweeter, right? If you have more water with it, it tames it down a little bit. Like, so it's getting you flavoring your way. Dani D fitness, you're kind of flavoring it your way because you're figuring out how to love yourself, through this movement, but then through like, Move Fit and through like the podcast and just all these different ways that help like you to be a complete person. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always tell people that like, they'll always be surprised when we talk about like, okay, fight and all these different things I'm doing. And I'm like, all of these are tools to help all of you. You know what I mean? Like, how greater can it be to be like, oh, wow, there's a place where I can move and feel safe and feel sexy and like go do that at a fun distillery on Broadway, like different locations and like have fun with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, yeah. So that's like, a way. Like,
before we actually talk the specifics of the actual challenge.
Yeah.
Kind of piggybacking off of what you just said. Take a moment right now, especially with this, because so many people, they might not know all of your mantras, but anyone who's ever seen these words, Dani, knows love your body.
Yeah.
So explain your mindset of how you started this, of that it's actually like love your body throughout, and the mindset of trying to find a way to love your body now and respect and appreciate where it is, while also encouraging people to improve it and change it and the different stages along the way.
For sure. So something that I will say is that when it comes to loving yourself, like I posted a video about this the other day on Instagram, and it's like this. When you go through your life and you're constantly hoping that like it's going to get better, it's going to get better, it's going to get better, there's going to be better people, there's going to be better guys, there's going to be a better job, there's going to be this, whatever, like, oh, my body's going to get better. You live in this mindset where nothing is ever good enough. You're never good enough. And you're continually telling yourself like what you want, but not appreciating what you have. Okay.
Right.
And so for me, when it came to my journey, it was like, I was like, I'm just going to focus on like getting there and like finishing it. And like, once I'm there, I'll be able to live my life and eat what I want and like, just be a rock star and all this stuff. Right. When I first was starting out. And then I was like, you know what? Like I was taking selfies one day and I was looking at my body. I'm like, man, like I'm really proud of like the 5 miles I just ran. I'm really proud of like the food choice that I made. I'm like, man, like I really can love myself right now. Like I don't have to wait. Like I don't like, and I'm not a patient person for those that know me. They know that. And so, I'm very impatient.
Wait.
So
is this breaking news?
Breaking news for all of you listening.
She's not patient.
And so I was like, man, I don't want to wait because I don't know truly. I don't know if and honestly, because I was more insecure and stuff too, back when I first started my journey, like 9 years ago. And so when that started, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what if I never reach my goals? Or like, what if I never these ideals that I have? Or what if I'm never what society wants me to look like? What if I'm never these things? I'm like, honestly, I'm not going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I may reach like my health goals and whatever that, but like I will never be 5'1" and weigh 100 pounds. It's not going to happen. And so that was like, I know somebody will be like, well, duh, Danny. It's like, no. Some people still think that they can like one day they're going to magically be a model. So when I was realistic
it's like,
with myself,
how many people drive by those billboards of how many millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars the lottery is, and think in their mind what they would do with that money and then never buy a ticket.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And so when I got to this point of like, okay, well, I want to love my body during this. Like I don't have to wait. And every time that somebody came at me with oh, like you're the instructor, or oh, like you do personal training, or like, oh, whatever. You and your fight, man.
I love it.
I know it is so good. But yeah, and when that would hit me with that, it almost like reaffirmed like what I was doing. Like it almost like helped me continue to keep going down my path, because I'm like, man, nobody understands how I can like love myself when I don't look like XYZ. And that to me was like, oh my gosh, like that's what it is. Like I need to love my body throughout so that I can, get to a point where eventually like I will truly love myself.
And I think that's where people like misinterpret what it is that like love your bodies in the world of fitness is let's work really hard. Let's lose weight.
Yep.
Let's love your body when you work hard enough to get the body you want. Like love your body as a destination.
Right.
But really, when you do it realistically and do it a healthy way, it's actually about the journey.
Yes, 100%. Because I've thought about this too. And it is like a scary moment of like, okay, well, let's say that like I get to the point. I mean, I'm very comfortable with myself right now. Like I am very, like, I love myself. I love my body right now. And I always have. But like right now, I feel more confident in it because it's healthy. Like I'm moving efficiently. Like it's everything. Yeah. It's not just about aesthetically. And I think that's where two people get confused.
Yeah.
And it's like mentally, like I'm loving myself more because I'm, like I said, all those affirmations and goals I'm trying to do too. So it's looking at it more on this holistic piece of like, it's not just about, oh, I ate the amount of calories today and then I worked out really hard. Those are parts of it. And that's great. And like, yeah, I feel really sexy or feel great in these shorts or whatever. And that's awesome. But it's everything combined, guys. And it truly is one of those moments of once you can get over that, like once you can stop comparing yourself to other people, which is what I feel like everybody wanted me to do. And I was just tired of it. And once you can focus on what you are meant to do. And for me, I'm meant to move.
Okay.
I'm meant to move. I'm meant to love myself. I'm meant to be compassionate to myself. I'm meant to be positive. And I can't do all those things if I'm constantly focused on the number on the scale. If I'm constantly focused on, do I look good in this outfit? Like, how does this appear to me? Like before, like I would have never been able to be in front of a camera and like have video shoots and whatever, because I was so with body dysmorphia and stuff. I was so tripped out that I would look at myself in the mirror when I would dance, and like I would look and try to see myself at all angles, because then if I knew how I looked at every angle, no one could catch me at a bad angle or a flawed angle.
Okay. So on that last thing before actually breaking down the challenge, what would you say to someone who says like, I buy into that most of the time, especially if it has something to do with a significant other or a friend or whatever, most of the time I love most of the things about my body, but then every now and then that thought comes in of like, I hate this one particular thing, and like the language you use to kind of change that.
Yeah. Well, the biggest part too, what you're saying is like, okay, so
because I feel like this is all things that people in this challenge are going to deal with.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's not, when you say love your body, that does not mean that you love every aspect of every part of your body. Like there's things that like I don't love about my body, like my scars or my bumps or whatever, right? But that doesn't mean that I try to hide them anymore. You know, I wear my booty shorts, I do my deal, whatever. Like it is what it is. So for me, it's like I'm not gonna be over here and be like, yes, like I love this scar on my hand from when I freaking used the knife the wrong way. You're not supposed to cut towards yourself. Anyone that doesn't know. And I'm just letting them know because I did not know. And you know what I mean? So it's like a really gnarly scar. Like it's a bit, oh, well, you should love that scar. Okay, back up. Like it's my hand forever. You know what I'm saying? And like, cool. Like I've gotten used to it. Mm-hmm. That's fine. But like, it doesn't make me uncomfortable anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay, whatever. And so you get to that point. But like I'm saying, some people that I've seen on social media will say like, it's not about your body. It's not about your body. Get away from your body. I understand what they're saying, especially as women, because we have been talked about how our body needs to look since always. What you need to wear, you know, what your man, what your husband, what they expect from you, what they want you to wear, what they want you to look like, what looks good, what doesn't look good. I understand. But my whole mentality with that though, too, is if you have truly been uncomfortable in your body before, you don't understand what it's like to actually love it. Like when you have been so uncomfortable that you like don't want to like live anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're so upset. You can't get ready. You can't look at yourself in the mirror. You're just like constantly just hating on yourself, negative all the time. Like when you finally get to the point where like, dang, like I look great. Like I can see myself in a different way. Not how society wants me, not how my man, not how anybody else wants me to, but like how I want to see myself. And that's strong because I work out. That's mentally healthy because I listen to awesome podcasts, and you know what I mean. And like I do all these awesome, I do all these great things. Like that is what will make you to like really see how to love yourself.
Yeah. Well, I hope that everybody that does this challenge can get a completely different viewpoint on their own self.
Yes.
Of how they view themselves. So what this is a 10-week challenge.
Yeah.
It's going to start with an assessment and kick off with a move fit.
Mm-hmm. This Saturday, 10 o'clock at Bold Patriot. Brewery.
Bold Patriot. It's on the west side.
L&L Market.
Best side. And it's going to be a 10-week challenge.
Yep.
We are looking at not weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
We are actually looking at your ability to gain muscle and burn fat.
Which let's stop right there for a second. For females, let me just say, you may think it's easy to build muscle. It is not. Okay. No. And for any dude that has,
I've heard so many women say that of like, well, I just don't really work out a lot because I just put on muscle very quickly. Like,
yeah,
then do it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now I can say that I naturally have a lot of muscle.
Yes. No, I'm not taking that away. Yeah, there are people that are genetically able to see a muscular shape.
But most,
But whether people are genetically more inclined for fitness, or not, there's still something to learn about yourself from this.
Yes.
Because your threshold will be different of what, if you already have a lot of muscle, it's gonna be harder to gain more muscle.
Yeah.
So I feel like this challenge does meet everyone with where they are.
Right.
If anything, it's actually probably going to lean more towards the benefit of people newer to fitness.
Yeah.
And getting those kind of newbie gains. But we're looking at separate entities of developing muscle as well as burning fat, and doing that in a healthy way. Because if you're going into this challenge with the mindset of just burning as much fat as you can, you're going to try to burn 20 pounds of fat. You're going to lose muscle.
Yeah, you're not going to win.
So we're not going to reward that, because that's not the point of the challenge, and that's not what's going to get the best results for this. Right. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, and I'm actually doing it. So I will be in on Saturday to do my assessment as well.
Okay.
My body assessment.
Did you sign up for a time slot?
Get out of here. I made the sheet. I don't have to sign. I actually did have my name on there, and then I gave it to somebody else, but whatever. I'll show up when I show up.
You better let me know.
But yeah, so I'm going to do it as well. And obviously I told them like, I'm not going to win or anything like that. I'm not going to be eligible to win. But for me, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, I just am going to continue on my programming that I've been doing.
You're going to do it?
Like, yeah, I'm doing the challenge.
Well, shit, I'll do it.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
let's just you and I compete.
Oh, wow.
What do we want to wager? Oh.
If my dad was listening, he would say I would wager this with the dance. Have you seen the Blue Label commercial? Have you seen that? There you go, look it up. It's so good. But it's like scotch and whiskey, man. That's not my drink. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, we can do it. We can.
Right.
I don't know.
Hey, name your ticket price.
You'll have to listen to the next podcast to know what we actually end up.
All right, yeah, we'll talk about that. I am really excited about this challenge, and with everybody doing the assessment, if you're already listening to this, you're going to actually sit down and like learn about it. You're not just getting this assessment and like looking at all these numbers about your body. That we're going to break everything down. We're going to make it very simple to understand. Yeah. And teach you as much as it is. I love having teaching moments with fitness.
And everyone that joins the challenge, you're going to get a canister of Fight, which we're super excited about.
Yeah, you are.
And then some Grab the Gold bars as well, because they're a sponsor. And then, guys, we have Eye Relief Therapeutics, Braid Babe Nashville, Spray Tans by Shauna. We have
let's break down the prizes, because this is unreal.
So the first prize is $500 cash prize. So
cold hard cash.
Yeah, cash. I would love to just,
Sorry, I got real excited about that.
Yep.
My fight's kicked in.
And then the second place is going to be a session to Be Ready PT, who we both use, which is great for physical therapy, as well as a massage from Brandon with Eye Relief Therapeutics. So we're going to have that. And then, so again, recovery and help you, because you just, work so hard during this whole challenge, and which is still a great value in price. And then third place is going to be a free spray tan and a braid by the Braid Babes. So,
which we both use as well.
Yes. Yep. So guys, so we have great prizes. And it's to just, help on each part of that, right? So the recovery part of it, the money, financial goal part of it, and then like the spray tan, just feeling better about yourself part of it, just like that. Like, so again, it just encompasses everything. And you're going to get a couple other goodies and stuff like that in your little welcome package and everything. But yeah, overall, guys, I'm super excited for it. And I'm really happy with the people who have joined. We have an IG group that we're going to have as well, where people are going to be posting all that. So if you follow Dani D Fitness 1 on Instagram or Facebook, you can see we'll be sharing all of their
Music C Strongman.
You're going to be seeing all of the posts that we'll be sharing of everyone in the challenge, just fighting for what they want and getting their movement in. And again, that will help to set the example.
Loving your body throughout.
It will help to set the example for everybody. Not just people that are in this challenge.
Yep.
All right, guys. Until next time. Yay.
That was awesome.